Sophie, thank you. Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of Look North.
Our main story, compensation for alleged victims of abuse. But disappointment that the police say they can't prosecute staff at a care centre in Doncaster.
We want the people that's abused, not only my sister, but the other vulnerable people, brought to justice, named and shamed, and some guilt hung over the head.
Also tonight, the University of Life. Well, that's where this lead millionaire went, but he says working class kids should aim for the real thing.
And the new world record holder for the biggest number of Daleks.
Well, this was daybreak in the Home Firth area. It has been a stonking day across Yorkshire, but cloud and rain on the way for tomorrow. Join me later.
Good evening and welcome to Look North. An NHS trust in Doncaster has paid compensation to two mentally disabled patients because they suffered alleged abuse at the hands of their carers. But it's emerged today those accused won't face a criminal trial because of a lack of evidence against them.
Now, the families of the victims say they're angry and devastated. Their loved ones have communication difficulties, so they couldn't tell anyone what was happening. But other staff members described far-ranging abuse.
It includes physical abuse, including the hitting of patients and tipping them out of wheelchairs. Mental abuse, including humiliation and force feeding.
Well, in a moment we'll hear reaction from a solicitor representing a number of the victims about today's decision. But first, here's Kathy Killick with the background to the whole case.
Through these trees is St Catherine's Hospital. It looks after people with mental health problems. And in the grounds is the Solar Centre. It's a day centre for people with severe learning difficulties. And it's alleged that between 2005 and 2007, some members of staff physically abused vulnerable patients there. I've been speaking to the sister of one of those patients. She wanted to remain anonymous to protect her sister's identity.
My sister is severely mentally handicapped, living in care. Part of a care plan is visiting the day centre at Solar at St Catherine's Hospital, which enables her to have extra outlets, different activities, meeting new people other than the people that she lives with.
What happened to her there?
While she was visiting there once, twice a week, the staff, 4 members in particular, was repeatedly abusing her.
That must have been a really difficult thing for you to find out about.
Yeah, it was very difficult. We didn't find out until the abuse had actually finished, but we couldn't do anything because the police was investigating it. The centre could not investigate it until the police had finished, and it went on for a few years. And in the meantime, we were trying to find out what exactly happened to her.
What do you think of the way the case has been handled so far?
We feel that the police should have gone to the family members who had a little bit more understanding about the people that were being abused and the reactions because some of the people that were being abused did go home with marks on the body and, you know, more different behavioural problems. At the time, they probably didn't know what was going on because nobody was told. But looking back, in hindsight, there's definite clues for the people being abused. We want the people that's abused, not only my sister, but the other vulnerable people, brought to justice, named and shamed, and some guilt hung over the head.
The trust responsible says systems have been reviewed and changed. 2 of the claims have concluded and 3 other cases are still in progress. Information regarding those is confidential, so the trust is unable to comment. Because it's now 5 years since the alleged abuse took place, it means evidence is all the harder to gather. But the families are determined that anyone guilty of abuse should be held to account for their actions. Kathy Killick, BBC Look North, Doncaster.
Kathy, thank you very much. Well, earlier I spoke to David Greenwood. He's from Jordan Solicitors and he represents several of the families. I asked him for his reaction to the news that the case had been dropped, but only late this afternoon.
I'm surprised. I'm disappointed. My clients will be really disappointed to hear that the CPS have decided not to pursue the case. They're interested in bringing the perpetrators to justice, and this way it appears that the abusers here will escape justice.
Even the police officer, the statement from the police, said they did everything they could to put together a strong case. They understand the disappointment. That suggests that they literally went for it, yeah?
Yeah, it suggests that the police were content that the case should go forward. I will be doing everything that I can to persuade the Crown Prosecution Service to change their minds and realise that the perpetrators here really should face a court.
Nevertheless, the CPS are, experts in this field, and they presumably have decided that there is insufficient evidence. That's what they're saying.
Yes, that's correct. Doesn't mean that I agree or that the victims' families agree. I will be doing everything I can to change their minds.
This is not the end of the road for your clients, though, is it? Because the case that you're bringing is not a criminal case, but it's a case in the civil law. What do you hope to achieve there, then, David?
Quite apart from the prosecution aspect, which is to do with the police and the Crown Prosecution Service, my clients are interested in seeking some form of compensation payments to help the victims with extra therapy that they will need to regain the levels of trust that they had in their carers prior to all this.
So that case continues, and we will, of course, keep in touch with you on that one.
Thank you.
Also tonight, the West Yorkshire music teacher accused of killing his fiancée and then putting her body in a suitcase will not be going into the witness box at his trial at Bradford Crown Court.